the first to know. Nsem-Pii TV.
During the special voting, BBC, the Electoral Commission decided say printing new papers for the Eastern and Western region because one defaced ballot paper, a free stronghold or national security for EC for us3, and all the political parties share say and it's idea easy and printing new ballot papers. And then never be see amaya questions our Electoral Commission based on that action we take here. Ye call Atwema Kwahoma ewo Ashanti region. Young man be a oye NDC youth organizer ewo Atwema Kwahoma neba and a police for Edenensa asolu based on the fact say ononkwa kura 76 ballot papers e hye now the about those ballot papers say ballot papers no easy stamps everybody on the ballot box. It's what is to show, what is to say oko other regions, other constituencies, other polling stations ballot papers are easy stamps everybody no matter printed former President John Dramani Mahama omudi into polling stations na ballot staffing likely say be say polling station here baby ukoto aba so nkrofo bebre ni mo ukoto aba so nkrofo bebre ni ho no nkrofo bebre betimi de ewure ma nkrofo enwo we ye Ashanti region enonko a ena ononko akura 76 ye che na ose ne papa ede man nti ne papa na a sacrifice ne ba no for former President John Dramani Mahama. Yenko tie news no ne ye ba ya hwese ye betima draw a link between ballot papers na easy for printing with this particular story akoso in the Ashanti region.
Na afina oye na agin so okwa akofa
Nana Jantua, Yama, Yagafoni, and Tifoni Aquaba, and Famra, Achuma, Kwama constituency. Nana Obepiman will say, police station Bakoa, a friend of Methodist primary police station. I want to know Hasimuri, it's a year. Now, Nina say, Urim Owachma Kwama, youth organizer, Edema NDC, Neba, and a Kosala, I say, Okotunaba. Now, Kona, say, sir. And to where no was watching and your mom who say, watch me at the back pocket too. And so, and as a young question, I have 76 ballot papers. And in a year former President John Dramani Mahama, the Fagbera Edema NDC. Yet in Nima Bakwapo at also 76. And see, I want a man a security personnel or war no. Omina Ebo Abofia Bongo. Na bofre yo mo chele sano ana odi tu ga say ne papa me say oye youth organizer ye fele chas for kuno ono na so man say on fa embra entino pepe america say de omo chele de ne ba adwuma fo ase police station ne mo odo ni chema emperefa ba be fa na o ma be fo mo ni ade omo ko central police station pepe america say
NDC youth organizer ono ne fele chas for kuno
on a friend Chaspoko and a neba.
Neba no se friend say. Neba no se friend say.
Kweku Fuku.
Yeah. Nti Kweku Fuku no na ballot papers mako 76 eshen ho anka no de bewrem.
Neba twane.
Na sa ballot papers no eye de yisi etwa anase eye bibi foforo ma na print no mo de ebeka ho.
Nana Omana print and answer the ECA no. Yes, Omochena na security persons and by an answer. Omocho Mumbium, Emian Shenimum. I don't know. The Amana Sepa and say, Uti Omoa, no Omobe on my as an able to sona. Almost somebody 2 years and say, it's no a stamp able actually. Let's say the EC a stamp actually. Bapako a drosson NCA.
Interesting. Neso mana a print to modie eno modeba eno ma stamp so a ni nyina nso eye de kwama former President John Dramani Mahama.
No correct.
And you say Abrant anyway.
Or never paying a certain Kano. We don't need to central power befano, or headquarters central police station.
Yama Hokwan. Yato abewie. Yato abewie a de aka nyina ne se mo ne mo agent ebe kona mo ne electoral commission ni police fa kwotena se na etoto ye won yaka enwu yia se ye be fe ndua ne nade ene nkranti akokrom akosai niema akoprepra bi na se yete o mai we mu na NDC fo ebe fe press conference akacho mo followers o mo coalition center de ebusuafo NDC fo pese o mo say ye man ne ye den e man ye ma ho kwan eti sambre di aye ka che MPP ni bi o Ghana hafa na nyina ne so bi enya ne wada nya ne frɛ wobusua frɛ wonafofo MPP ni bia bebia wo bia no nya ne na kɔ coalition center wo constituency kɔbɔ electoral commission ni police for ho ban kɔbɔ police for no okɔ a kotia police for ni nsem na oni omo ntena ye bɛsepɛ ɛwɔ coalition center na ka yɛn adwen se ye bɛkɔ hɔ na mom se ye bɛ ma NDC for kwan no makɔkɔ sɛ no nko ade ye bɛbɔ ye process no ɛho ban ye gidi sɛ abato wei Dr. Omane Boamah edin kunim wedin kunim awie ye gidi sɛ abato wei ye MPs no dodo na ewi ni abato no pink sheet ye gi every polling station no ye saka ye de nyina dada eti ye nim de ye nya na mu emra ne say eye electoral commission nko a na betumi abobɔ amma no eye mienu de dikan constituency level no electoral commission bebobɔ na ɛhɔ na no ɔma paw nipa ɔmo gidi sɛ MP abano widen wedi no kura ne se constituency ni nya pa ana se electoral officer ni nya pa nipa no constituency ne pe afede yen as a political party ye betumi de nipa ne ya yeden atudwa se omunya ye de a na se ye di kan e de betudwa even though ye cry your figures no ye de betudwa wan hwa na ye de basabasa ya yeden aba oman nim ye process no ya bato won hyehyɛ no eye bibia eye mmerɛ kra ye to aba ne wi a munyina mudi adanse bebia moto aba na ye nyina kogina ho anadwume ya kenkan ema ya bobɔ ye wie no obi asan saa krata na ye fa ne pink sheet na agent ne sign ye no ye de nyina ba constituency coalition center ye bedru ho a ɛhɔ ne yakeka bom ye ka bom wi a ɛhɔ ne ye behu dia constituency ni mu MP a owi ni ye ɛna president no so de ye den owi ni ye na de nti a ehu behia sɛ woyɛ amanyoko ɛsɛ otobo ase ne sɛ yedu coalition center hɔ a obi tumi frɛ sɛ yɛnsan kenkan biem mbra no ma ho kwan enti sɛ wɔn hwɛ ne yie na sɛ woka sɛ me sheet na me nya wɔ polling station nti me de bɛkekan a wɔn hwɛ na de basabasa yɛ den akɔba enti sɛ NDC fo bɛ frɛ press conference na ɔbɛka kyerɛ ɔmo kyitafoɔ sɛ ɛsane sɛ ɔmo hu sɛ ɔmo lose nti ɔmo kɔ coalition center na ɔmo kɔ yɛ basabasa yɛ ne deɛ yɛ mma saa kwan no ebusuafoɔ munya gidie wɔ MPP mu ya ye bi pen ya ye ne saa wen ye da dikan ye de NDC fo ye nso wen ye da dikan omu di sa dwumadie yi 2016 omu ye bi 2020 omu ye bi omu ya ato aso saa sebe omu hye de nya suahunu bia emfiri sa dwumadie na omu dinim na yen ye ni makwan ye de omu fa so munjama yen ye be hwa mamo ye bebo ye electoral process no ban to ensure say Ghana ni bie ne woto aba na ba no ye bebu na bonfia na say ye beto atwene MPP fo nyina nko coalition center ho ne yenkobo yaba na yato eno ho ban okọ a tia police ni nsem tia electoral commission officer ni nsem ne yentena ho emfa ho nsa nko bia na mom se NDC ni bi de nsaka police ni bi ana NDC ni bi de nsaka electoral officer bi afa osaka NDC no esa ne se sambre no na wo bo oman no ho ban ye somo obi aso nko sei bibia ewo coalition center na mom so mudi kan ba ho no be ye de a ye ma ho kwan yen ye beta wachi ni abɔ ho ban esan se wo bɔ oman no ho ban de eke nyina ne se mu nyina mo be kai Solomon abakɔsɛm na wo Bible mu no emma mienu abatai mienu na omo ne omo bakɔda ye no ye da so ye na ba akɔ ada ne ba no so ama ne ba na wu ye nya ne ye na akɔya kasakasa esan ne se nkola ne se omo se pa because omo nyina papa ba akɔ enti we se de ɔte ase ne ye meba we so say we ya meba we so we ya meba ye ko ho saa ene ko na nanim na na hwe na asem ne ka ye den esa ne se nkola ne se nti ye den se obehu dia ne ba nti na adwe mu dɔ nti de oka ye ne se mo mbra me sekai se mo se akola we ye mo ba enso ye ba akopɛ mo ye mienu nti ye beche ne mo mienu na ya mo bi afa no be de akola ne de fire de ekofie na de tie ne se wo kya akola ote ase mo mienu a obewu enti maame no onim se no kre ono na ne ba ewu no ehwa na original na na anku no na kyere mo mienu na fa fama me ehwa na hu se wo enye wo ba dia onim se akola ne ye ne ba nkasa no o se na wadaroma mesrew akola we me na ye me ba me so bete se metena se na me a me ba me ye mu ba ya pai ni mu se de ankana na fa che no anya hwe krampo no sa akola ne te ase a me hu na me hu se me ba ne ye den etinkwem ehwo na ohene kai se wo e na akola ne ye wo ba enti je wo ba fa ye den fa ko NDC fo hu se abato no modi nkugu o mawe asai edwiregu bonimu ya se dio ena se akamu kura se dio da fam no onsura hwe ase omo hu se omo awie edwiregu awie enti no omo from chitafo se omo nko collation center enkoko sei no se ya na aboye nyina embo bia Dr. Mahmoud Boamah edinkunim MPP parliamentary candidate ne edinkunim ye bebo ho ban kopem se electoral commission fo benya somdwe ede abobo abato no mo be kaya enche ye bia 2020 abato etu ye NDC for the America caucus omo edinkunim after they lost omo lose wie no e ka che omo chitafo nyina ne se MPP fo wie omo enti omo bra krom omo be gina krom for almost a week e disturb on my way nyina say niema ukọ adwuma ne asɛ wo car ya pipe wo car ya sɛ nkrofo office ne ade e kɔ wie eche omo kɔ court no ye bi sɛ omo sɛ evidence ba ko mpo omo wo mfa mbra court omo sɛ omo ni bi Casio calculator na MPP na MPP chairman de kɔtena friend sɛ court wo bi sɛ ne sɛ aha wo si wunya sɛ wunyina so wo yan o sɛ manfa ma in fact omo edi omo kɔ collation center so omo kɔ kenkan MNDC no omo kɔ num tea eko complain ye say tea no na biscuit nye dey enka ho ebia no mo ye nei mo wo agent wo collation center mo be count mo be nya gidie wo mo agent ni mu no esa ne say embra na ye cheche ye agent no adesua ene akwan ye fa so ye de ye normal no na mo training macho men embra ye training agent say ne ye be fill forms say ne ye be kenkan no na NDC for a training macho men enti nei embra na so ese ye kenkan no macho men ntokwa na twem fiti ewia omakosa ene ntokwa ni nyina si bebi edu no yemfa muscles enye yemfa hoode na eye ye de akenkan ena ye esa ne so omam prepare for akenkan nti omo se yenko se no yemma saa kwan no MPP ye wo macho ena esan so wonimdi a ye de yedan e de djuma no nti ekwan bi e befa so ye bebo ya bato no eban no ye bebo ye de adwene nyansa ena edi nkunim e wa bato we mu enja macho ene ahoden awo ewo ohunem de yesre Ghana fo nyina ne se monda munya gidie weye mu munya monfa moni nto MPP aban na moto abamaye no monfa moni yedan ento yeso se ne ye bo maba no ho ban in 2016 se ne ye bo maba no ho ban in 2020 no enye na ye wa aban mu a ene ye te akonwa so ene ye be makwan so bi embe gye mo aba mato ne yedan emfiri mu nsem ye be bo maba no ho aban amamo ne ama electoral commission ni police fanya asundwa yedan ayomadwuma embrano say electoral commission eye declaration no constituency level ye be frɛ na ya ka kyerɛ mo sɛ wani kuma kokoda sɛ wo hwɛ na wani nkum so a coalition center na kɔbɔ electoral commission for ho ba yedan ema is a complete lie, is a falsehood. All we saw in that video is Joseph Yamin, the organizer of the NDC in Ashanti region, holding his own phone, having a camera placed on him by his own people in a certain room with no resistance. No owner of the room, no owner of the house, not a single person they met in the room accustomed, standing and having a conversation, cheerfully telling somebody that I've discovered ballot papers. Our checks indicate that, first of all, the room they claim they discovered those ballot papers are not even at the location they indicated. Number two, these are actually ballot papers that Yamin himself took to the Ashanti region for whatever reason. Remember, they had already given some of these ballot papers to the youth organizer of the Atwima-Kwama constituency. The police had already issued a statement on that. We showed a video earlier on, and maybe before I conclude, I'll show that video, where the son of the constituency youth organizer of the Atwima-Kwama constituency was arrested by the Ghana police. For attempting to stuff a ballot box with 79 ballot papers. These ballot papers were part of the ballot papers that you saw Joseph Yamin standing by. What had actually happened was that Joseph Yamin realized that he had 30 minutes for elections to end, and he had not been successful to execute that task that had been given to him by his party. And so to save his face, he all of a sudden goes on video using a selfie and telling the whole country that he's found some ballot papers that belongs to the MPP. That's an outright lie. It's a complete falsehood, and it's something that everybody should disregard. We are calling on the Ghana Police Service to investigate to the latter that video that Joseph Yamin has put out, because they are an absolute threat to the stability of this country. They do not show us the number of the alleged ballot papers. We never see it. We only see some brown boxes or brown papers, you know, in the corner. They do not tell us the exact quantity that they have, because you have the deputy spokesperson of the flag bearer of the opposition party indicating on her Facebook post that they have discovered some 300,000 ballot papers. Then Joseph Yamin says 500,000. Then another NDC person says 400,000. So it tells you the kind of people they are and what it is that they are doing. Again, we do not see any MPP official in the video. So think about this. Joseph Yamin, for some reason, has magic. Identifies a building that has ballot papers, goes into that house, and there is nobody in the house. Joseph Yamin walks into that house seamlessly. The Joseph Yamin we know has a suspicion that there is a ballot paper hidden in the house, would start recording himself from the road before even getting to the gates, before walking into the room. Strangely, Joseph Yamin switches off his phone or his video, breaks into whichever house, opens whichever door, gets into a room, and then only begins to record himself inside a room. These guys really take the entire country completely as fools, because it doesn't just add up. The same Joseph Yamin gets into the room before inviting media. This Joseph Yamin we know, having picked intelligence that there is some ballot papers hidden somewhere by the MPP, will call the media, call police, and walk in there with them before he even puts a video on himself. He doesn't do any of these things. Again, we only see him in a corner with a video on himself. Now, you've discovered some 500,000 ballot papers in an MPP stronghold, and then the only evidence you show us is a selfie of yourself in a room having a conversation with somebody excitedly, telling the person that you've discovered some ballot papers, and then telling us that you are now calling police to come and do whatever it is that you're expecting them to do. We all know the reasons why the NDC are behaving this way. Everybody in this country knows that this is not the first time we are going through this. Unfortunately, as a people, we have to deal with being inflicted with this every single election period. The NDC are clearly losing these elections, and they know it. As we speak, the elections have already been counted at the polling stations. Every political party has copies of the pink sheet. They know it. They know very well they are losing these elections, and that is why they would call for havoc. We are winning these elections as a party. Dr. Omane Boamah is winning these elections, and that's why we are saying that let's protect it. If we are winning, why would we want the electoral processes to be disrupted when we are winning? And so, I'm sure a lot of you recall the story in the Bible. I think it's a Solomon story. The story of the two rival women, where they went to sleep, woke up in the morning, and one of the babies are dead. Now the king calls these two women fighting over the living child. And then he says, why are you fighting? He said, this is my child, this is my child. Then the king says, okay, no problem, bring me a sword. This is the living one. Cut the living child into two so that you can all have a half of it. Now, you remember, the woman who knew very well that the dead child is her said, yes, kill the baby. Kill the baby. Now, the woman who knew that this child is my child, and because he's my child, I don't want the baby dead, said that, my king, if he would please her, give her the child. All this woman sought to do was to make sure that her child does not die. But the other lady that knew that she was guilty knew that she had already lost her child, was willing for both of them to lose their children. That's exactly what the NDC are doing. They know they've lost. They know they are nowhere near victory in these elections. And that is why they would irresponsibly call on their supporters to move towards the coalition centers to disrupt the coalition centers. Already, we have heard of incidences in some of the constituencies. We saw some on TV where some NDC persons were somewhere in Dansoman breaking through the coalition center and basically attacking security services. What is this? At the coalition centers, you have your agent. Why do you want to go and destroy ballot papers and disrupt the electoral process if indeed you are confident that you have won these elections? Why? Why would any political party that is willing and ready to lead this country, why would any political party that is very, very clear in his mind that he has won this election want to disrupt these electoral processes? We will not allow that. Just as we've told you from the get-go, throughout the process, we have blocked each of the ill intent of the NDC. Every strategy they brought into this election has failed. And we are going to continue to ensure that they fail at it. And this one is also going to fail. At this juncture, we are waking every single MPP supporter up